So today we'll uh, consider the discussion of microstates and macrostates. Okay. So basically, in the previous class, I have told you macrostate means it is the state of the system where a macroscopic property is considered, volume, then pressure, like that. So that property gives the macro state of the system. Whereas microstate of the system is represented by means of the momentum and position coordinates of the system, and that is what microstate represents. So let us consider the simple examples to understand microstates and macrostates. So consider the phase space of system with 6 dimensions that can be subdivided into small 6-dimensional elemental volumes called phase cells, each of volume dx, dy, dz into dpx into dpy into dpz, where dx, dy, dz are small position coordinates. So into dpx, dpy and to dpz are momentum coordinates. So entire phase space is divided into small elements called phase cells. Okay. Entire phase space now small volume divide each will have the value dx, dy, dz into dpx into dpy into dpz. It is a 6-dimensional volume. Okay, it is a imaginary. Otherwise, it will have the position coordinates, 3 position coordinates, and 3 momentum coordinates corresponding to that. Remember, phase cell is a smallest volume in the phase space. Okay, a coordinate system smallest volume is called as phase cell. That phase cell can be occupied by certain particles of the system, or the state of the system can be identified by knowing the position of the system in that particular phase cell. ಯಾವ phase cell ಅದು ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರಿಂದ we can identify the state of the system. Okay. Then, since every particle of the system has phase point in phase space, the particle surely occupies one or other the phase cell. ಯಾವ್ದಾರ ಒಂದು phase cell ಅಲ್ಲಿ particle ಇರಲೇಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ. Particle can occupy any one or other the phase cell. Any one of the phase cell ಒಳಗೆ that particle should be identified, and corresponding to that particle we can identify certain phase point. Phase point is lying inside any one of the phase cell. Phase cell ಒಳಗಡೆ ಒಂದು phase point ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತದೆ. That phase point represents a particle of the system. Suppose the phase cells are distributed over entire phase space of the system. The density of number of particles can be defined as rho n equal to ni divided by dv. What is ni? Ni denotes the number of particles in ith phase cell. Okay, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು phase cell ಇರುವಂತ number of particles, and dv represents volume of that phase cell. Okay, particular phase cell. Then density of the phase cell or density of number of particle is defined as number of particle in a particular phase cell divided by volume of that phase cell. That is number per unit volume. That is what density of particle says. Okay, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ density of particle ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ.
ಈಗ ಪಾಟಿ
Okay, so that is what density of particles says. Okay, density of particles ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? It is number of particles per unit volume. Okay, that is represented as number of particles in a particular phase cell, in ith phase cell, divided by total volume of that phase cell. Okay, so first now phase cell ಬಗ್ಗೆ understanding ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು then we have to understand the microstate and macrostate. Okay, so first you remember the concept of phase space, phase point, phase cell. Phase cell andre it is an elemental volume in a phase space. Okay, remember that. Next, we'll move further. So next we will consider what do you mean by microstate of the system. The complete specification of a set of coordinates of each particle of the system is called as microstate of the system. If complete specification of the coordinates are known for a particle, then that specification is called as microstate. Microstate means we should know the information, all the information about that particle, including position, momentum, etc. That is called as microstate of the system. So of each particle of the system in phase space. Phase space ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅದರ position, momentum ಎಲ್ಲದನ್ನು explain ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ that is called as microstate of the system. Okay, in other words, microstate of the system provides the complete information about the phase point. Okay, phase point andrenu, it is defined for a particular particle. A particle ಗೆ momentum, position ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಿದಾರೆ, that is called as phase space. Galaxy J4 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು? I will remove you. Okay, so he's entering with the name J4 and he's doing something else. Okay, okay, so that is called as microstate. Microstate means what? The complete specification of the set of coordinates for every particle of the system is called a microstate. Andre adar complete information gottidare, that is called as microstate of the system. The specification of phase points in each phase cell of the phase space is called macrostate of the system. Okay, andre we should know the information about the phase cell, but we don't know the information about the phase point, then that is called as macrostate. ಅಂದ್ರೆ phase cell ಒಳಗಡೆ ಎಷ್ಟು particle ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, but we don't know what is the position and momentum of that particle, then it is called as macrostate. So just I will give you example to understand this concept. So macrostate means what? The complete specification of phase points in each phase cell. Phase cell ಬಗ್ಗೆ information ಇರ್ತದೆ. Okay, but we don't have the information about phase point, then it is called as macrostate of the system. So macrostate gives the number of particles occupying the each phase cell of phase space. ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು phase cell ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು particles ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಮಾತ್ರ ಕೊಡುತ್ತದೆ, that is called as macrostate. It will not give you information about position and momentum. Position and momentum information kotre enaಗ್ತದೆ, that is called as microstate of the system. Okay, so just I will take the example in order to understand that. As an illustrative example, consider a system consisting of 7 particles. Let us take the system consists of 7 particles. The particles are distributed in 4 phase cells numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4 are the phase cells in a phase space. The phase points of the particles occupying the phase cells are denoted as A, B, C, D, E, F and G as in figure. Okay, so 7 particles are named as A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So microstate andrenu, microstate of the system define ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we should know which particle is in a particular phase cell. ಯಾವ phase cell ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ particle ಇದೆ ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಾದ್ರೆ that is called as microstate. If you don't know which particle is in which phase cell, then it is called as macrostate. Microstate ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಏನು? Microstate of the system is defined by stating that A, B, C are in phase cell 1. D is in phase cell 2. Phase cell 3 is empty and phase cell 4 consists of E, F and G particles. Okay, this is microstate. We should know complete information about the system of particles. Which particle is in which state? Adu gottadre that is called as microstate. So microstate gives coordinates of each particles in each phase cell. The corresponding macrostate is specified by stating that cell 1 contains 3 particles, but we don't know what are the particles in phase cell 1. A, B, C anta gottilla. Suppose we don't know what is the particle in phase cell, but we know 3 particles are there. That is macrostate. Cell 2 has 1 particle, cell 3 is empty and cell 4 contains 3 particles. So macrostate does not provide the state of individual particles. However, it gives number of particles in certain phase cell. ಆ phase cell ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪಾರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ macrostate ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. In which phase cell the particles are specified, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ABC ಯಾವ ಸೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, that is microstate. If you ask a question, particle D is in which cell? So it is in second cell. So that is microstate. We know specifically D is in phase cell 2. Suppose you don't know the particle D is in which cell, but we know phase cell 2 consists of 1 particle. ಯಾವ particle ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. That is called as macrostate. ಅಂದ್ರೆ finally I will give this statement. Microstate gives the state of each and every particle in each phase cell. It gives information about the type of the particle present in each and every phase cell. Whereas macrostate gives only number of particles present in the given phase cell. ಎಷ್ಟು particle ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ. Okay, we'll consider that in detail while studying thermodynamic probability. Okay, so just remember microstate and macrostate. You should know the difference between them. Okay, then there is a concept called postulates of equal a priori probability. Okay, first we will try to understand what is probability, then we will move towards that postulates of equal a priori probability. Probability ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ let us take one example. Okay, probability corresponds or it is defined for random events or random selections. Okay, simple example I will take. For example, the tossed fair coin falls either facing head or tail. If you toss a coin, it will fall by facing head or tail. Okay, only 2 possibilities are there. This event is random and perfect prediction is impossible. So this event is a random event. We cannot say whether it shows head or tail. It is completely impossible to predict the perfectly predicting the event. So it is random. It can show tail or it can show head. The possible number of events are 2 in number, but there are 2 possibilities. Either it can show head or it can show tail, and they are equally likely to occur. Okay, so there is no biasing. Okay, the ಎರಡು possibility ಏನಿದೆ, it is a 50-50 possibility. Therefore, these 2 events have a probability of half. Showing the head is having the probability half, showing the tail is having the probability half. So probability is said to be 0.5 or percentage wise, it is 50%. Showing the head is 50% probability, showing the tail is having the 50% probability. Okay, So how to define probability then? Okay, so possibility of occurrence of event is 50-50 here. So general, ಯಾವ ತರ probability define ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ? So probability of an event is defined as ratio of number of occurrence of events to the total number of events happened, provided the number of events are a very large in number. Okay. So mathematically, probability of certain event can be expressed as P equal to small n by capital N. What is small n? It is number of certain events occurred out of total n number of events. Okay. So large number of events has to be studied. That's why it is probability is a statistical tool. Okay. So large number of events has to be observed. Suppose we have to toss the coin. Let us take 10,000 times. 10,000 ಸಲ ನೀವು ಟಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Okay, you have to note the head or tail possibility each and every time, and you will come to know that almost 50% probability will appear, provided the coin is unbiased. ಅದು unbiased ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. Definitely, the number of events showing head will have the 50% probability, showing the tail will have 50% probability. So out of 10,000 times, you will get around 5,000 times you will observe head. Okay, let us take 4,900 times. 5,100 times you will show you will get tail. Approximately the probability of event is approximately 1/2. So showing the head is 1/2, showing the tail is 1/2. Okay. So that is how probability is defined. Probability, it is the event defined as ratio of number of occurrence of events, that particular event, to the total number of events happened. Okay, that is called as probability. So let us take another example. Let us take there are 10 balls in a box. 10 balls ಇರ್ತದೆ, 10 balls in a box. Okay. Then I have to pick one of the ball. What is the those balls are numbered. Let us take those are numbered like 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. Okay, up to 10. I have to pick one ball. The probability of the picking the ball who is having the number 1. Number 1 ಅಂತ ಇರುವಂತ ball pick ಮಾಡೋ probability ಏನು? So without seeing the balls, I have to pick blindly. What is the probability of picking ball number 1? There are 10 balls. Can you give the probability of that event? Anyone? Anyone tell me? Probability. Huh? Anyone? There are 10 balls in a ball. 1/10 times. Right. Good. Okay. Because probability, I can pick any ball out of 10 balls. 10 ball and now yadanu pick ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. But probability of picking only one ball having the number 1. Number 1 ಅಂತ ಇರೋ probability ಏನು? It is 1/10. Okay. So that is how you can identify understand the probability. Okay. It is the ratio of number of occurrence of event, possibility of that event divided by total number of events happened. Okay. So provided the number of events are very, very large in number, that is what the probability is defined. Okay. Remember this, it is defined as number of event, certain event divided by total number of events. Okay. So one possibility of that event divided by total possibilities. Okay. ಇದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ತರ ಕೂಡ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. Possibility of that particular event divided by total number of possibilities. Okay. ಈಗ head or tail. What is the possibility of that event? 1. Only one possibility, head ಬರುವಂತದ್ದು. total number of possibilities ಏನು 2 in number, head or tail. Example of 10 balls, 10 ball ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ numbered 1 2 3 up to 10. So what are the total number of possibilities? 10 possibilities are there. I can pick any ball having different numbers. 10 possibilities are there. Out of 10 possibility, what is the possibility of picking ball number 1? It is 1 possibility. So possibility of that particular event divided by total number of possibilities. Okay, so that is how we can understand this particular concept. Okay, this is probability. Let us take different example to understand this. Idrolagade ಎರಡು type probability calculation ಬರ್ತದೆ. This is basically not useful here in this topic, but for the sake of interest, I am telling here. One is called as mutually exclusive events, where you have to take summation of probability. Suppose mutually exclusion events ittandre alli summation of probability ತಗೋಬೇಕು. So what do you mean by mutually exclusive events? The two events are called mutually exclusive if occurrence of one event excludes the occurrence of other event. If one event ಆಯ್ತಂದ್ರೆ it automatically removes the possibility of other event. Simple example is again coin tossing. When the coin toss ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ if the event occurred is head, it shows head, then automatically it removes the possibility of tail. So they are mutually exclusive events. So head bittandre tail ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. There is no possibility of showing tail. So in such case, if you want to find out the total probability, suppose 2 coins are tossed simultaneously. So what is the probability of showing both the heads? ಎರಡು ಹೆಡ್ ಬಿಡುವಂತ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, you have to take probability of first coin plus the probability of second coin. Okay, that is how you can understand the concept. Okay, so summation of probability you have to take. So 4 possibilities are there. Total ಎಷ್ಟು possibilities ಇದೆ? So both may be tail, both one may be head, one may be tail, both may be head. Andre one possibility out of 4. Okay, so you have to take the possibility 1/2 of a first coin plus probability of second coin is again half. ಎರಡು add ಮಾಡ್ರಿ, you will get how much it is? Half plus half. Okay, I think okay, one possibility. Okay, 1/4 you should get. Okay, so mutually exclusive events andre okay, sorry, I have confused this. Okay, no problem, I will give the example in the next class, so there is no confusion. So exclusive events antandre you have to take this summation of probabilities. Okay, the probability of occurrence of one of the mutually exclusive events equal to the sum of probabilities of occurrence of each events separately. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದು ತಪ್ಪಾಯ್ತು. ಇದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ನಾನು ಹೆಡ್ ಆರ್ ಟೇಲ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರೊಬಾಬಿಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. 2 events are said to be independent if the occurrence of the event does not affect the probability of occurrence of other event. ಈಗ ನೋಡ್ರಿ, 2 coin toss ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ the one coin will not affect the second coin. They are independent events. ಈಗ ಇದು ಹೆಡ್ ಬಿತ್ತಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಬೀಳಬೇಕಂತಿಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ ಮೇ ಶೋ ಟೇಲ್. Okay, so they are independent events. It cannot exclude the possibility of the second coin. So they are called as independent events. Then what you have to do to find the total probability, you have to multiply the probability of individual events. ಈಗ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಬೀಳುವಂತ probability ಏನು 1/2. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಬೀಳುವಂತ probability ಏನು 1/2. What is the total probability of getting the both the heads? Okay, ಎರಡು ಹೆಡ್ ಬೀಳುವಂತ probability ಏನು? It is 1/2 into 1/2. It is 1/4. 4 ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಡ್ ಆರ್ ಟೇಲ್ ಬೀಳಬಹುದು. Both the head you can show. Okay, that is so we can find out independent events. So these two are useful while solving the problems in competitive examination. Just to remember, for further details, you study the probability. Okay, ನಾನು probability ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಇವತ್ತು. So you have to understand the concept of probability in detail. Okay, so ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ಮ್ಯೂಚುವಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ನಾನು ಒಂದು ತಪ್ಪು ಹೇಳಿದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯೂಚುವಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಟಾಸ್ ಅಂತ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಕಾಯಿನ್ ಟಾಸಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್. ದೆನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಿಯಾರಿ ಪ್ರೊಬ್ಯಾಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಹಿಯರ್ in the ensemble, the large number of elements are distributed in different possible microscopic states, characterized by same macroscopic variables n, v, and e. N is number of particles, v is volume, e is the energy. Okay. So, illi nimge equal a priori probability and define ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. In a fundamental postulates of statistical mechanics is that a macroscopic system in equilibrium is equally likely to be in any of its microscopic state, satisfying the macroscopic conditions of the system. It is probability. You can find the system in the selection of the microscopic state. And probability postulates of equal situation. The macroscopic system in equilibrium is equally likely to be in any of its microscopic state, satisfying the macroscopic conditions of the system. Okay, that is called as postulates of equal a priori probability. Let us take the example of balls only. 10 balls are there. Okay, 10 ball alli the probability of picking the ball number 1 is 1 by 10. What is the probability of picking ball number 2? Is also 1 by 10. Ball number 3, it is 1 by 10. Ball number 4, it is 1 by 10. Okay, so that is how the selection of microstate ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, a ball number ಅದನ್ನೇ ಪಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾನು. Macrostate ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, only one ball I am picking, that is macrostate. One ball na pick ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ, that is macrostate. I don't know what is the ball number. But if you identify the microstate, ball number has to be specified. Which ball I am picking, that is specification of the ball number. So that microscopic state is having equal probability in the macroscopic condition. Now, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು macrostate consider ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, so equal probability of microstate is going to be observed. That is how you can understand equal probability postulates of equal a priori probability. So each and every microstate is having the equal probability. ಯಾವ microstate ಕೂಡ ಅದು ಇರಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. There is no biasing. ಇದರಲ್ಲೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಇದರಲ್ಲೇ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿಲ್ಲ. So they have to show equal probability of the microstate. Okay, that is how you can understand this priori probability, postulates of equal a priori probability. Okay, okay, thermodynamic equilibrium ಅನ್ನೋದಿದೆ. So time being, you can ask any questions if you have any doubts. Thermodynamic probability next class ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. Okay, so if you have any doubts in this microstate and macrostate, you can ask me. ಮತ್ತೆ probability. Okay, if possible, I will show an animation of the probability. You can ask any questions if you have doubts.